It is the middle of the night in the American West. Federal agents are moving methodically down a street where the driveways are lined with expensive cars. They aren't making arrests. They aren't looking for fugitives. They are handing out mandatory buyout checks. By the end of the month, every single family is gone. By the end of the year, federal bulldozers have crushed the mansions into gravel. And then, the cartographers step in. With a few deliberate strokes of a pen, the town is deleted from the federal registry. The zip code is permanently retired. The highways leading to the city limits are literally ripped out of the earth. They didn't just abandon the richest town in America. They assassinated it. But why? If you pull up a digital map right now and look at this exact coordinate, you will see absolutely nothing. Just miles of empty, undisturbed dirt. This is the ultimate cartographic anomaly. This wasn't a failed pioneer settlement that slowly faded away. This specific spot once held more millionaires per capita than Manhattan. It had opera houses. It had bank vaults with 2-foot-thick solid steel doors. So why did the U.S. government decide to wipe it from existence completely? The answer isn't some paranormal mystery or a science fiction movie plot. It's a terrifying lesson in American economics, municipal law, and the true hidden cost of relentless resource extraction.
The nothing you're looking at on the map is Eagle Mountain, California. Located on the edge of the Joshua Tree National Park, it wasn't just a town, it was an empire. Founded by the industrial giant Henry Kaiser, this was the backbone of the American steel industry. But today, it is a silent, literal hole in the map. To understand how a city this powerful vanishes, you have to understand the Dharma of the boom. Let's talk about how towns are born. In America, geography is destiny. Think of the United States highway system like the human body's circulatory system. Blood naturally flows to where the energy is needed most often. If you find a massive resource in the ground, a capillary is drawn to it. A road is built. A town appears. And in the early 20th century, this specific patch of land was the beating heart of American industrial wealth. Men came here with nothing but the clothes on their backs and became barons overnight. The earth beneath them was incredibly rich in highly valuable industrial-grade minerals. The wealth was so extreme, so absolute, that the town paved its sidewalks with crushed quartz just to make them sparkle in the afternoon sun. They imported mahogany from across the globe. They built a utopia. But there was a fatal flaw in their master plan. The very thing making them unfathomably rich was physically hollowing out the ground beneath their feet. Literally. They dug deeper. They expanded the mines. They ignored the cracks forming in the foundations of their mansions. They ignored the municipal water turning an unnatural, sickly shade of orange. They were completely blinded by the balance sheets. But when the ground finally started collapsing, creating massive sinkholes that swallowed entire streets, why didn't the city planners just pour money in and fix it? Because the town itself had become the enemy. Here is a deeply strange fact about American law that most people never think about. A town is not just a collection of houses and people. It is a legal corporation. It has rights, it has liabilities, and most importantly, it has debts. When the vast underground mine shafts began to collapse, releasing toxic gases and structurally compromising the entire region, the state faced an unprecedented, catastrophic crisis. You see, the government doesn't have the luxury of just abandoning a town. If a town officially exists on a map, the government is legally obligated to provide services to it. They have to deliver the mail. They have to maintain the roads. They have to ensure the tap water won't slowly poison you. The cost to stabilize the ground and clean the toxic aquifers was calculated in the billions. It was a sum so massive it threatened to bankrupt the entire surrounding county. So, how does a government escape an unpayable, terminal debt to a dying, toxic city? They execute it. Legally. This is where the story shifts from an environmental tragedy to an active, calculated cover-up. The legal process of deleting a town is called unincorporation. It is the municipal equivalent of issuing a death certificate. The government buys out the residents using eminent domain, forcing them to leave. Then they dissolve the local government. The town officially ceases to exist on paper. But legal unincorporation wasn't enough. The ruins of this city were so profoundly dangerous, so structurally compromised, that the mere presence of an abandoned ghost town was a massive legal liability. If an urban explorer or a curious teenager wandered in and fell into a toxic sinkhole, the state could be sued for millions. So the order came down from the highest levels. Erase it. Not just legally, cartographically. We tend to think of maps as objective reflections of reality, but they aren't. Maps are curated documents. They only show you what the mapmaker wants you to see. By physically removing the town's name from the official US Geological Survey maps, the government removed the invitation to visit. They didn't stop there. They tore down the Opera House. They ripped up the sparkling asphalt, severing the physical connection to the highway grid. They planted fast-growing vegetation over the scarred earth. The goal wasn't just to move the people out. The goal was to manufacture forgetting, to make sure no one ever came back. Today, nature is slowly reclaiming the poisoned dirt. If you stand at those exact coordinates now, you won't see the banks, you won't see the mansions, you will just hear the wind. The deliberate erasure of America's richest ghost town is a stark, uncomfortable reminder. We love to think of our cities as permanent monuments to human achievement. We trust the glowing blue lines on our digital maps as absolute, unwavering truth. But lines on a map are incredibly fragile. Wealth is surprisingly temporary. And when the foundation finally rots away, the grand systems we rely on won't necessarily save us. They will simply cut their losses, cross us out, update the map, and move on.